All right. Oh, jeez, I'm going to cough. All right, let's go. Let's go. How's everybody doing? So, I think we're going to be starting on Sunday, Eric. I'm waiting for the damn schedule, that's for sure. How's everybody doing? Colin, Eric? How you doing, bud? Yep. We're ready. We got no choice but to defend it, right? Oh, the schedule won't come out to the last game of the season. Ah, jeez. But they got the Saturday games up. They got the two Western Conference Saturday games up. How come they're so special? That's why I thought we were waiting for the rest of the schedule. Hey, JC. Yeah, exactly. Two more sleeps. Eric, I would guess Sunday because Tampa plays in New York tonight. So that'd be an awfully tight window for them to have to fly back and really only have the one day off before having to play at home on Saturday. I would guess that would be a Sunday game. And I need to see the schedule so Kyle and I can sort through what the hell we're doing. Yeah, exactly. JC says if we play Sunday, it'll likely be an afternoon game. We are notoriously bad during day games. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? We'll be all right. We was going to lose one of those. In fact, we should just let Tampa get all their aggressions out in game one. Just let them get all their damn aggressions out in game one. Hey, Icy. You kind of feel bad for Columbus. Yeah, I get it. I know there was a lot of people that wanted Columbus to make it. It wasn't that I didn't want them to make it. It's just I didn't want to have to redo the whole skit that I got going. I got to record it tonight, so at least I didn't have to rewrite anything. So the mic should sound a lot better today. I figured out what was going wrong for whatever reason. Windows settings just changed on this laptop, and the input for the mic was down to 8%, where it's normally at 60%. It just changed it all by itself. Computers are stupid. So yeah, the mic should sound a lot better now. It should be a lot more present. Starlight Green says Panthers got to show support for Pedblad by losing the first two games. NHL, yeah, I posted the link on the community board. I posted the link on the community board. DJ says maybe random driver update. I would suppose that's what happened. I guess. I don't know. It was totally random because I know the live stream wasn't all that loud either last night. I like that, Colin. Yeah, I like it. The Colts, Hall and Oates, or Panthers in 5 or 6. I would love 6. Would love 6. Panthers. Rays fans, for as smart as computers are, sometimes they are stupid. Right? I had to, because I was recording something yesterday, and when I went to post it, it's like really low. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so I Googled it, and they're like, check your Windows settings, and sure enough, it had been down to 8. I'm hoping, I need the schedule to come out, because I have that show that I'm doing for the Humane Society, and on May 2nd, Friday night, the Humane Society's having this big whole thing, like an outdoor fair and all of that, but it's at night. So if Panthers play, I obviously can't go promote the show because Panthers are the first job. So I'm hoping that, because that would be around Game 6, Game 7 time. So I'm hoping that Friday night, it's just Western Conference games. You know what I mean? Now, if it's Leafs in Ottawa, Game 7, I had to make a choice. Maybe I can get Donna to go out there and promote the show for me if I can't do it. That might actually be the thing that I'm going to have to do. Donna, you watching? Pretend you didn't hear that. When I ask you, pretend it's a surprise. I says, I don't know if you saw my comment yet on your post, but I don't think Josh Stradamus should be allowed to take part in the bracket challenge. Being psychic is a huge advantage. If only it worked that way. If only it worked that way. I usually get one right per year because of that. But as you know, Eyes, from the year that I almost predicted it correct at the beginning of the year when I said it'll start slow, get better, make the playoffs and win the cup, and then we lost to Vegas. It's like real close. Really, you know. What I found funny was last year I trolled myself in the Game 3 recap for the Rangers. We win Game 1, and then we lost Game 2 in overtime. And then in the middle of that game, after the second period, I was just lit. I was just lost my mind. All the stress with the dog and everything, it just all came out on camera. And I'm yelling and screaming that they might lose Game 3. And in the middle of the rant, I reminded myself that in the series preview, and this is true, in the series preview, I said Panthers would win Game 1, Rangers would win Game 2 and 3, and the Panthers would win 4, 5, and 6 and win the series. And so I'm yelling and screaming. I'm losing my mind in the middle of it. But at the same time, exactly what I said was going to happen was in the middle of happening. So I just kind of had to laugh at myself because I'm like, dumbass, you're the one that said this was going to happen. Why are you so pissed off about it? Craig says, if it worked that way, Jaws would be a multimillionaire betting the ponies, right? Yeah. No doubt. No doubt, Craig. So JC says the Bolts have two advantages. Number one, their power play is deadly. Number two, they have more chemistry and are ready to go. We lost chemistry and will need a game or two to get the wagon rolling. I can't necessarily disagree with that. Yeah, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play, Eyes. Sure. I don't know that I can get my skates on by myself. I might need somebody to put my skates on for me. I don't know if I can bend over that far anymore. Eric says Tampa needs to be fired up Game 1. Just let them get all of their anxiety, get it all out in Game 1. I don't care if Game 1's 14-2. If we win Game 2, 2-1. Lil J says, let's be optimistic here. If Chucky's healthy and we play perfect, I believe his team could steal both in Tampa. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? We won both in Toronto the one year, but that's a little bit different. Right? Kenneth says the Oilers, LA and the Oilers could start Monday. Yeah. I don't understand why they have the two games scheduled on Saturday already, but nobody else. You can't have any of the other schedules. It doesn't matter. Right? I mean, it shouldn't matter. Like, are they going to say, oh, Tampa had an overtime game tonight, so we're going to move their game back a day? You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't matter at this point. Or I guess those other teams, maybe they're done. Is that why? Are those four teams that are scheduled to play on Saturday, have they already played their last games? I answer my own question here. That might be what happened. Let's see. In the West, yeah, Dallas and the Stars and the Jets and the Blues are done. And that explains it, Jaws. You answered your own question. Congratulations. I'm going to drop the link to the bracket challenge here in the chat here. This is the link to the bracket challenge, the league. There you go. Okay. So what I see JC saying something. Hold on, I got to scroll down. I missed a lot of comments. Eric thinks they're going to split both games. I mean, I'll be okay with that. I'll take a split in Tampa. Eyes. That's kind of true, though. Alechka says, I won't be upset if they don't make it past Tampa this year. The team is going to be so good for years to come. Normally I would say I'd be obviously devastated if they get knocked out in the first round, but Tampa is a special case. Ryan says the Lightning will take both games in Tampa. Now, come on, Ryan. You was going to say that anyway. You probably think Tampa's going to sweep. Vegas Wild on Sunday, right? JC, man, if I... Oh, my God. Hey, Simon. I'll be honest with you, Simon. I haven't been fishing. I haven't been to the gym. I'm too busy right now. I'm trying to get out there tomorrow, but there's I've got 3 days worth of stuff saved up for tomorrow, and I'm never gonna get it all done in one day. And I just haven't been to the gym. I've been finding I've been getting to the gym 2 or 3 days on 1 week, and then the next week I'm not getting it all because my body's just sore. Kind of the Lyme disease kind of kicking my ass right now. Yeah, I says the Checkers got a bye to round 2 by locking up the second seed. That's cool. That's good. Maybe they'll win this time. Giga says, I thought there was a pretty big stat siding with Game 1 winners taking the series. You might be right, but I'm not aware of that one. But, it would make sense, right? It would make sense, sure. Lil J says, we've been playing with half a squad for the past month. Our full roster could look deadly. Yeah, almost 2 months, right? If you count Chucky being out. But yeah, with Chucky and Ekblad out, sure. Hey, Pente, Jameson, how you doing, bud? Runwood Kings, you think it'll be on Saturday? I know, right? Yeah, Steven is saying if we had pulled our heads out of our asses for 8 seconds, you should say, Steven, against Montreal, they're nowhere to be found. I'm breaking things. Yeah, they owe us big time. No doubt about that. That's okay. It's just my headphones. I just unplugged the headphones. No big deal. Bente says, I got to take Tampa winning this. I'm more impressed with their season than the Cats. I understand that, Pente, but I'm going to give you a stat. I talk about this on the members podcast, but I'll give it away. The Panthers played 54 games with Barkov, Tkachuk, and Ekblad on the ice at the same time. They were 39-15-0. So, I'm just leaving that there. I'm just leaving that there. Ryan says the injured players on the Panthers will be rusty. That could happen. That's why I'm not worried about Game 1. Get Game 2. Get all the rust out in Game 1, and then come back and play your Game 2. Get the split, and we got a series. That's my tactic. Mason says, I don't think people realize how it's going to go with Tkachuk is back with Marsh and Bennett. It's not going to be... I appreciate that idea, Mason, but it's going to... I would be shocked if that's the line. I think they're going to leave Marsh in on that third line with Lundell and Luosterainen. It evens out the goal scoring more. Hey, Eyes, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, bud. Eyes says, what wild card team has the best chance for a first-round upset? Montreal. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to be the only one. I'm going to have the only winning ticket. All $5 that I have in my savings account. As soon as I borrow $5 from Kyle, all $5, I'm going to put it on Montreal. Hey, thank you, JC. I appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that, brother. Kenneth says Kings already released and it will be Sunday or Monday with games 2, 5, 7 already set. Well, I guess because if the teams are already done playing, they can, right? Eric says, is the Panthers and Tampa the best series? I think Kings and Edmonton could be pretty good too. Different, right? Certainly, I think it's the best goalie matchup, Panthers and Tampa, for sure. All right, thank you, JC. I appreciate that, brother. Colin says, I think the Blues or Habs could pull off an upset. The Capitals fans could handle losing to Montreal. I don't think Winnipeg could handle losing. I vote for peace. Let the Jets win a series. Vincent says, take a rest, man. You look like an old floor mat, or is it just fear of Jaws? Go fishing. I'm trying tomorrow, man. I'm trying to go tomorrow. The weather's going to be nice. Hopefully, if I can get my stuff done in the morning, it's hard to take a break, man. Self-employed. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Icy says, it's kind of weird that Bruins fans are going to be rooting for us to get past the second round so they can get their first round pick. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, Icy. Yeah. So Simon's asking what my prediction is for the Panthers and what are some of my favorite matchups for the playoffs. I'm picking Florida to win that series, but that's not a big surprise. On paper, Tampa should win the series. On paper. But I'm picking Florida because I don't want to lose 1,000 subscribers. I'm kidding. I'm hoping that time-wise, Kyle and I can see some of the Edmonton and Kings games. I'm really interested in watching that series. So if they start at a decent time and we can work it out, I'm going to try to have us cover some of those. Penta, yeah, they've been good with all three guys on the ice. Hey Connor, how you doing, bud? Nirmac, you think Ottawa? I mean, that's a good. Would that even be an upset? Does it classify as an upset? Nirmac is saying that Ottawa could be one of the teams, the wildcard teams that upset one of the better teams. If it's Toronto losing, though, is it an upset? And I apologize to the Leaf fans, but honestly, if Toronto loses, is it really an upset to Ottawa? And how big of an upset? Kenneth says Leafs are 21-4-4 one-goal games this year. No wonder their plus-minus isn't great. Yeah, welcome to the club, Kenneth. Well, congratulations. Right? Meanwhile, Tampa, they're out there getting, 7 goals a game, basically. Half that, more than half. Like 3.6. He says, were Jaws and Kyle bang the drum before Game 3? No, but I might bang something after Game 3. I'm just checking to see if Donna's watching. No, Simon. We don't. It's free to join, and the link is. I put it in the description. I'll put it in the comments again, and I also made a community post earlier that has the link to join the Flying Fluffy Hockey Bracket Challenge. So there's no. There's no money involved. Hey, Heather, she says I'm all stocked up on Tums. Yeah, I hear you there. Hockey Chunky bought all the tickets to what, Craig? To what did I miss? Yeah, Tampa's 29-8-4 at home this year, no doubt. I agree, Derek. The youth movement in Montreal, they're going to be a pain in the ass for a lot of years. Connor, both. He is asking if I'm Jewish or Italian. Both. My grandmother on my dad's side was born in Poland. She was Jewish. And on my mom's side, the entire family is like old school Italian, like from Sicily, like Italian. So both, Connor. Interesting question. but both, yeah. Great White says, we can win. Panthers just have to score 10 goals, right? No problem. Through the whole series, we could win the series and only score 10 goals in the whole series. Ryan says, Jaws, what happens if the Panthers don't repeat by losing to Tampa or Toronto? It's a good question. I mean, it's not like you're going to try rebuilding or anything like that. I do wonder if Bennett and Ekblad, what their situation's going to be pending how the Panthers do again. I'm a little bit concerned about Bennett not signing a contract yet. How long do they need to negotiate? Jason says, Cats in 6, put it into the universe. I got no problem with that. No problem with that. So, Simon, we're covering the Panther series. We're covering the Toronto series. And then it just depends on if we have time to cover any of the West series. Like Saturday, I'm sure we're going to cover a couple of the Western Conference games if none of the Eastern Conference teams are playing. They've already got the 6 o'clock and 8:30 slots filled up on Saturday. So we'll just have to see how the schedule works out. Yeah, Stolars is ready to go, Ryan. Oh, yeah. Icy says, if by chance Cats get eliminated, will you still stream the rest of the playoffs? If not the Cats, who am I rooting for? Oh, yeah. No doubt, Icy. If I don't stream the rest of the playoffs, I have to immediately run to Dunkin' Donuts and put in an application. So, no, we're streaming the playoffs. Every game that we can, we're going to stream. If the Panthers, I mean, who would I root for? Honestly, probably Tampa, in the sense that if they did win again, maybe then they go away. Go away already, Lightning. That's how I usually think about it. Is like if you don't win, you want a team that has been in your division or in your conference to win, because the likelihood of them repeating is so low that kind of, in a certain way, eliminates them the following year. So if Florida was to lose to Tampa, I would root for Tampa to have a long, every series be 7 games. All the game 7s go 4 overtimes. It's a long run, so they're all so exhausted next year that they get the hell out of the way. You know, Omark's numbers haven't been fantastic, Mason. I looked at this yesterday when I was doing the preview. They've been good. I think 267. Stolar's numbers, I mean, are Vasilevsky-like, honestly. Vincent says, NHL media have no idea what kind of torture regular season was for the Panthers. They had no idea. While we were expecting a different team to show up in the playoffs, is true. Nearmax says Chucky will be 100%. I have a prediction for Conn Smythe, but I'm not going to say it yet. Steven says, I hope Chucky lights it up. He's been sitting around getting paid, so he owes us some solid efforts, right? JC, you've been watching all last year's playoff mini movies? Yeah, that's a pretty good idea to get pumped up, no doubt. Simon, I think Winnipeg is going to win the series. I don't think they're going to win the cup, but I think they finally do get out of the first round. There's going to be a game where they get scared. In other words, it might be series tied at 1, series tied at 2, and put the fear of it in the Jets, and then they come out ahead. I genuinely feel like they're good enough this year that maybe they can get over that hiccup. Definitely think the Kings are going to beat the Oilers, Dietrich. Nearmax says Bennett wants max term and the Panthers are not going to do that. That's my concern. Yeah. And I would hate to lose Bennett, but there's only so many guys that are going to be 35, 36 that you can sign that length of time. That said, this is not the same team going, what are you going to do at 2C? Are you going to try to move Lundell and Luosterainen up? I mean, you would have to, you lose Bennett, now you're breaking up Lundell and Luosterainen. Because at that point, you're going to go Barkov, Reinhart, Samoskevich, Lundell, Tkachuk, Verhaeghe for next season, I'm talking. Bennett's such a key player. Hey, True, how you doing, Gator Tooth? Eric. Vincent says, is the first game on Monday? I would think it would be Sunday, right? Yeah, I know it's hard to root for the division rival, but JC says the Sens know they have no chance of the Cup this year. They're getting to throw everything and literally beat up the Leafs. Knocking the Leafs out is the Sens finals. I mean, I don't disagree that could happen, but then they'd have been Brady versus Matthew in round 2. Yikes. Connor says, I had a buddy in the Army. His granny from the mom's side was Jewish, but his mom married outside and she instantly became broke. Right? Kenneth says, and if the Leafs win, we'll live in glory for the next 30 years and won't care about doing it again. Exactly. Yeah. Mel says, do I think the Panthers feel like the underdogs? Every stat and everyone is in favor of Tampa, which might actually work for us since they're good under pressure. Or do I think they feel like a favorite? You know, that's something I didn't look at. That question has just brought me another question. Because that stat about how the Panthers have been so good with all three of our big guys, Barkov, Ekblad, and Tkachuk, on the ice at the same time. I am curious. I want to see, let's see. I want to see how many games any of the Lightning players have really missed. So Hagel's got 81, Gensel 79, Hedman 78, Cooch 77, Point 76. You have to get down to Michael Shafey. You have to get all the way down there to find a guy that's got less than 70 games. The Lightning have been insanely healthy. McDonough, 81. Gergensons, 81. Hagel, 81. Gensel, 79. Borgstrom, 79. Cirelli, 79. Hedman, 78. Cooch, 77. Glendening, 77. Point, 76. Paul, 75. Chernak, 75. Lilberg, 75. Perbix, 73. Radish, 72. The whole team has been healthy the whole freaking year. And if you want to compare that to the Panthers, I'll get back to the chat in a second. You want to compare that to the Panthers, Rodriguez, 82. Verhaeghe, 81. Greer, 81. Schmidt, 80. Forsling, 80. Luosterainen, 80. Reinhardt, Lundell, 79. Boquist, 78. Bennett, 76. Mikula, 76. Belinska, 76. Samoskevich, 72. But then you got to get down here, and you see Barkov at 67. And Ekblad at 56 and Kachuk at 52. That's a lot. That's almost a whole season's worth of missed games between the three of them. And you don't. That's definitely a massive contributor, in my opinion. Big difference. Big difference. So I scroll down to the bottom of the comments, and then I'm just scrolling up to make sure I didn't miss. Yeah, true. We have to screen Vasilevsky. We won't beat him. Hey, thank you, Great White. That's what I was scrolling up for. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. He says, I'm happy the Panthers are in the playoffs. I'm saddest with the Bolts. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, right? I mean, it was going to be Tampa or Ottawa. Thank you again, Great White. Much appreciated. Like, the best hope we had round one in terms of, being less physical, in my opinion, is the Leafs. But some people might disagree with that. What did you ask? You say compare Tampa to us 2 years ago. Yeah, that's a good question. Let me see. So this was last year. True, you're talking about last season, or you're talking about the year that we had Vegas? What was that, 22-23? Let's see. Oh, come on. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, 22-23. Boy, the health. Reinhardt, 82. Luosterainen, 82. Forsling, 82. Kachuk, 79. Barkov is always below 70. He was at 68. Verhaeghe's 81. Mahura, 82 games. Mark Stahl, 82 games. Cousins, 79. Nobody really missed. I'm looking if there were any important players that really missed a lot of time. None at all. We were extremely healthy that year. And then if you go to, let's see, if you go to Tampa Bay Lightning that year, Tampa had a ton more. And no, they were pretty healthy. Killorn, Point, Cooch, 82. Perry, Colton, Hagel, Stamkos, 81. Maroon, Paul, 80. Sergachev, 79. Cole, 78. Hedman, 76. They were pretty healthy that year. They didn't have... Cirelli was probably the best player they had that missed some games. He was at 58 points. 58 games. And Vasilevsky, 60 freaking games, man. Unbelievable. Vincent says, Barkov never plays the full season, same as Ekblad. Kachuk took a bad habit. Yeah, good point. Good point. So, Simon, of the finals for this year, I don't want to give that away just yet. I'm going to be doing a video on that. But I've consistently picked the Panthers to repeat. But who they're going to play, I'm going to save that for a video. I want to look at what I really think about that. True says, yes, we played all year. Yeah, I see what you're saying. We played all year that year and fell apart in the playoffs. Really? Game one might be Monday? We're going to go to a whole weekend without? Let me go to Twitter. Really? Let's see. Paul Marie said Kachuk will be a decision on the morning skate Monday. Sounds like game 1 is Monday in Tampa. Huh. Okay, so he's coming back from a groin injury. Well, he's not going to be a game time, but he'll be a decision on the Monday skate. So, Monday. Wait a minute. What date is Monday? Let's see, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th, 31st. Oh, that might work out. That might work out to my benefit if it's on Monday, right? Vincent says Avs, or Blues. I mean, Avs, probably going to be the right, I says, of course, Barkov never plays a full season. We can't all be Keith Yandel. That's true. Hey, Kyle woke up. All right. Kyle woke up. That's good. So that's interesting. So why would we have to wait till Monday? So that would mean Toronto's going to play Sunday, right? They're not going to go a whole weekend without having one of the Atlantic Series starts. Why would they not play till Monday? So that would be... Eric says, Monday too long, Battle of Florida. Monday, it's 30 days in April. So if it's 22nd, we start on 22nd, 24, 26, 28, 30. Oh, jeez. I wonder when the schedule comes out, do you think since there's no travel basically between Florida and Tampa, that'll just be every other day? Or do you think they'll still put that extra day in there for a travel day, even though they could skateboard to each other's? I says more rest for our injuries. Yeah, good Monday. Oh, are they not going to want to play any games on Sunday because it's Easter? Is that going to be a possible thing? Maybe they'll go back to back, Eric. I hadn't thought about that either. Well, I'm just hoping we don't play May 2nd. That's what I'm hoping. Silva says, I finished my playoff bracket. Spoiler alert, I picked Vegas over Tampa in the Stanley Cup final. Oh, that would be a good series, though. I can't lie, that would be a good series. All right, so they need to put the schedule out. Geez, but the good news is if we don't play till Monday, I have till Monday to record the intro. That's interesting. Hey, Goat Slayer. He says, good afternoon, Jaws. Hope you enjoyed lunch already or have something good to look forward to. A night off. Yeah, this could be the last night off for a long time, which is good. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I've got all the Kyle's got to make the pancakes. So, Kenneth says, I think Ottawa versus Toronto will be every other day, maybe one double. So the game 7 lands on a Saturday. Right. Right. Plus Monday wouldn't be an early game. And that's true. Just no game Friday night, May 2nd for the Panthers. That's just what I need. Unless I want no scheduled game. Now, if they schedule one on the 2nd and the Panthers happen to sweep, all right, then that's fine. Geez, sorry, True. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Sunday. I didn't even realize Sunday was Easter. So fishes just so I'm selling my rock fishies. Yeah. It got too cold again. Like it's only 55 degrees. It's just not fishing weather just yet. Unless I wanted to take the kayak and maybe. I don't know. Kenneth says Sunday we'll have games. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. So if then that you would assume then that Toronto would start on Sunday, right? If they're going to start Florida and Tampa on Monday, they're going to start Toronto and Ottawa on Sunday. That's what would make sense to me anyway. Because we already got the two Western Conference things on two Western Conference games on Saturday. So, and then we got to deal with Canes and Devils and Montreal and Washington. Kenneth says, that's my assumption. Vegas plays Sunday, so there'll be a game. Right. True. Yeah, no, I changed it, True. I'll text you. I'll text you, Nick. I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you what I did and why I did it. It's actually going to work out. It's going to work out better. It's going to work out better. You know, I wanted to do something different. You know what I mean? I wanted to do something different. So I'll text you about it. I didn't forget. I had something written. Great White says pancakes with maple leaf syrup. That's what we have. That's literally what we're going to have. Simon says, yeah, we're gonna be here. Simon, we'll be here noon tomorrow, and we'll be here tomorrow night. We're gonna have a playoff preview stream where we're gonna do our brackets live and get drunk and stoned and all of that good stuff. Vincent says different doesn't mean better. No, it just means different. It just means different. You know? Yeah. I had something written, but it just wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to come out. And then I had a glorious idea, and I thought, oh, that will work much better. Yeah. Because it's not just the one game. It's not just the one game. Eric says, all games today, hockey, I see. So all the teams that are playing today, they start Monday. Okay. That makes sense. Colin, yeah, if Maurice is saying that it's going to be decided at the morning skate, then I guess, you know, boy, that's cutting it close, right? I mean, like if he's still worried Monday morning and wanting to make sure he's not feeling anything. But it's playoffs, so you got to get out there, right? Or maybe they're just being coy. Vincent said, oh, yeah, no, the pancakes are definitely happening. Yeah, the pancakes are definitely happening. I bought a brand new griddle. Amanda bought us a brand new griddle. And I got the mix. I got to get the chocolate chips and all of that. But the pancakes are definitely happening. I don't know how happy Kyle is about that because he wants to lose weight. I need to gain some weight. True says, we know player-wise, when everyone's back, we have the best team. Well, the champs for a reason. Right? Yeah, no, Chucky played with a broken sternum. He'll be there. Oh, he'll be out there. I just don't want him to do anything that, you know, tweaks that injury again. Because once you tweak a groin, you know, you're toast. But I just have a feeling that he's been ready. Vincent says waffles are still better though. It depends on what you're using them for. Like I would never put peanut butter and jelly on my pancakes, but peanut butter and jelly waffles is delicious. Right? Chocolate chips go in the pancakes. The chocolate chips go on top of the waffles. No doubt that I would probably say waffles are a little bit better, but pancakes are easier to make. Eyes. Yeah, True says Chucky just needs to stand to Vasilevsky. Yeah, exactly. Just stand there, Chucky. That's all you got to do. Stand there and hold your ground. Craig says waffles or pancakes with abs. Yeah, no doubt. We don't have a pancake maker, though. I mean, we don't have a waffle maker, I should say. Well, you know what? I should have a waffle maker. Remember the Cooking with Jaws episode? I bought a waffle maker. I bought a griddle. We had the mix and everything. I wonder where the hell that thing went. I wonder if, yeah, well, I was going to say something, but I won't. Comment says, just made cinnamon apples with vanilla ice cream, and we're talking about pancakes. Yeah. Gator, how are we going to beat Tampa? We only scored. Oh, yeah. Well, what Eric is saying, the Panthers backup team. Yeah. That last game against Tampa, I wouldn't put any spark into that. Yeah, Simon. No, I get. Almost just knocked down the whole. I get what you're saying about the holiday, but they're going to play the games anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, why not, right? I mean, look, football plays games on Christmas and Thanksgiving, and college football's got New Year's Day, so the NHL has Easter. I guess that's how we'll look at it, right? Ryan says, you were a Panther fan in 96 and then you switched to Tampa in 04. I wonder what would have happened in 04 that made you switch, Ryan. Vincent, the second thing. I would not have sold it on eBay, but I'm fairly certain the second thing is what happened. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Exactly, Ryan. Exactly. That was my point, right? Yeah. David, the rumor is per Paul Maurice that we're starting Monday. Maurice said that Chucky would be a decision at the morning skate on Monday. So from that, it sounds like we're going to start on Monday. And then somebody made the point that it possibly could be that all the teams that play today won't have their playoff starts until Monday. So, yeah. So we got to have a whole weekend of other teams playing playoff hockey, and we don't, which makes sense because Avalanche have been done for 2 weeks now. Avalanche, I don't even think they played in April. The last game was freaking March 31st or something. Vincent says it's the same thing if Verhaeghe's wife stole his ring. Waffle maker is a family heirloom. Yeah. Hey, at least I still have the hat and the what do you call that thing? The apron. I still have the hat and the apron. Eric says, Justin, Aaron Rodgers will be on the Pat McAfee show today. Possible retirement or Steelers announcement. Oh, he's going to retire. You're as old as me, Ryan. See, I knew you were okay. Donna said to me, who's that Ryan Ree guy? He's always giving everybody shit. I said, don't worry about Ryan. He's okay. Okay? Don't worry about Ryan. He's dedicated. He was in every single game giving us shit last year. That is dedication. Mythical, I think Rodgers going to retire. What do I know? You think he's going to the Steelers? I wonder how Steelers fans would feel about that. I know Kyle is waiting for that news to happen because Urinating Tree is going to lose his mind. Right? But football, that's going to be fun. For those of you who are fans of the way the videos used to be on this channel, where everything was bitching and complaining and yelling and screaming, subscribe to the football channel. Because while the Dolphins may not have my heart like they used to, I've had a lot of stress in my life the last few years, and I've decided that the outlet that I'm going to use to dispose of that stress is yelling and screaming about the Dolphins. That way, when the camera's over, it's not really affecting my life. But it's going to make for good content. Yeah. So all of the anger and the frustration from the last couple of years, we're just going to laser beam all of that at the Dolphins. What can it hurt? David says, I'm so old, I was a Bruins fan before there was a team in Florida. I got it. Jay says, dedication or desperation. Nah, you got to be dedicated to come every game. Right? Yeah, True says, I've been here before the team was made. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a video on the channel. What True is talking about, what Nick is talking about, is there's a video on the channel where he tells the story where he was in a youth league hockey, and his dad was the coach. I think that's the story, your dad. And they went to Huizinga's office and basically said, hey, man, get us a hockey team, right? That's the story. I'm paraphrasing, but go if you're interested in hearing the whole story, there's a video on the channel. Winnipeg has signed Ponk at 6 years at $7 million. Jeez. Wankers of Winnipeg. Bruce Gerrich reported the Leafs on starting Sunday. That would make sense. Yeah. If the Panthers on Monday, Leafs will be on Sunday. That makes sense. Sure. Absolutely. Okay. Matthias was thinking about being here this weekend, but he's going to stay home. David says, the great thing about being a Finns fan is I'm never really disappointed. It's always the same. We play a couple good games and shit the bed late in the season and occasionally in the playoffs. Pretty much. That's it. Gator. Yeah, no, Huizinga brought the Panthers in. Yeah. He was a good guy. The only thing I wasn't crazy about with Huizinga was it still should be named Joe Robbie Stadium. That's all. Yeah, that's a Bennett steal, Vincent, right? Great White says, will I start lifting overtime the Dolphins? Will I start lifting every time the Dolphins give up a touchdown? Huh. If I'm going to do it, I'd have to do it with field goals too, right? Yeah. Or maybe I lift when they give up a touchdown and Kyle has to lift on field goals. Yeah, Kyle should share the burden, I think. True, that's the way you got to do it, man. Just get a few sentences in, and eventually the inspiration will hit you. Michael. Get ready to loosen the sentence. Now, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, some things transcend politics, right? Yeah, it's Joe Robbie Stadium for me. Kenneth says we both lift on a pick six. Oh, God. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good one. And there will be pick sixes. I mean, we got Tua and Zach Wilson. Oh, my God. I mean, backup quarterback was this team's biggest weakness last year, and we solved it by signing Zach Wilson. I mean, that encapsulates being a Dolphins fan perfectly. Perfectly. I mean, yes, technically, he's probably better. I don't know about Huntley, though. How come we didn't keep Huntley? Michael says he was so calm till I said that, then it was every curse word. That's a funny story. Simon, yeah, I got to get the ham. Simon, you just reminded me that I need to get the ham. I have to see what date is the last date to get the ham. I think it's the 27th, but I got to make sure on that. I might have to go to the store this afternoon. Thank you for reminding me. Because I knew I had to get chocolate chips. But yeah, I got to bring the receipt to get the free ham. It's a good point. I don't remember if the last day was the 17th or the 27th. So I should probably look at the receipt. Then it says if he wasn't good enough for the Jets. Yep. You just saw game 1 Monday versus Panthers, Eric. Is that on Twitter? On Twitter. So did they have the whole? Did they have the whole thing? The whole schedule? Let me see. I'm not seeing it yet. So those are the only 2 games that they're going to have on Saturday. Just the 2 games from the Western Conference. So nobody from the East. All right. That makes sense. Not seeing it yet in terms of the whole schedule, but I'm looking. I'll be back to the chat in a second. Not seeing it. But I'm sure you're correct. Whose birthday is it, David? Whose birthday is it? According to George Richard? Oh, okay. Gotcha. You're going to suggest Panama as our song this year, but maybe next season? Yeah, I could knock that out. I think we could do that. Yeah, it just wasn't going to happen for me this year. So let me go look at George Richards over here and get the... Is he just talking about Monday or is it the whole schedule? Let's see. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. That's what he was saying. Yeah, that's what we had gotten to before. So, but what I want is the whole schedule. Yeah, but thank you for letting me know. All right, that works out. Oh, Adonis. Hey, happy birthday, Adonis. Very cool. How old are we this week? Mythical says, in all fairness, the Jets have a history of being terrible with quarterbacks. Look at Sam Darnold and Geno Smith. That's very true. It's very true. They even ruined Aaron Rodgers. Fake News says, this year reminds me when the Cats won the President's Trophy and everyone picks the Cats to beat Tampa, and we all remember how that went. Right. So, Simon, we were gonna film an episode today on that podcast, but Paul's got himself a hell of a fever, so it's hard for him because he works a lot on the boat. He got called back into work earlier in the week, so I'm hoping we can get a show out tomorrow. David, you just turned 56. Yeah. Donis, you're 19. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Holy crap. All right, the best life advice I can give to you is wrap it twice. That's all I'm going to say. And Adonis, if you meet anybody that tells you to get married and have kids because it's the best thing that's ever going to happen to you, by best, what they mean is it's the only thing that's going to happen to you if that's what you do. Michael says, don't wrap it ever. Vincent, it's supposed to be a group. It's supposed to be the two of us doing it. So, but him and I will need to talk about possibly being able to do things on our own over there if the schedule's going to be, if it's going to be too difficult to get together. You know. Adonis says, my birthday gift is Stuart Skinner getting a 5x12. Oh my God, right? Drew says, I never wrapped it, dodged a bullet 100 times. Yeah. That sounds about right, Drew. Technically, the channel is mine, Vincent. In terms of whose account it's on mine. It's on my account. But he has managing permissions, so he can log in and edit and change. He has anything that the account owner can do, he can do. What's up, Eric Sad? Breaking news? What's that? Chucky's back for game 1. Michael says, Plan B is cheap and can be put into orange juice for the 100% efficacy. You realize most of us that are saying wrap it up twice, there was no options back then, Michael. I'm talking about being 19. I guess being 19 now is certainly different, right? But, I can neither confirm or deny or condone what Michael's talking about. Another deadly shooting, Eric? Jesus. We're at this time. Hey, Adonis, you're here all the time, man. We genuinely appreciate you. 19, that's a sweet spot. Yep. FSU. Michael says Plan B has been $40 since 1997. And by 1997, Kyle was already on his way, so to speak. What was I was 26. 97 is probably when we actually started trying to have kids. He was born in 99, and it took us a few years. I'm not saying that I was wrapping up. I'm saying that's the advice I would give to somebody who was 19. Florida State and FSU. Jeez. Yeah, I agree there, True. Dave says, enjoy life. Just remember what Tom Petty said about getting old. Some of us grow young, some grow cold. Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. All right, everybody, I got to roll. Members podcast is a little bit short today, but it should be up in about 15 minutes. And then we're off tonight. And then tomorrow we'll be live at noon. Well, we will be live tomorrow night to have tomorrow night, Friday night party. Everybody BYOB tomorrow night. Kyle's gonna be here. I'm gonna be here. We're gonna get Donna to sign up and do a bracket live. That should be fun, right? And it should be really fun if she picks a better bracket than I do. So that's the plan for Friday night. But for tonight, nothing. Last night off of the year for quite some time, that's for sure. All right, everybody. Thank you for all the super chats. Genuinely appreciate all the support. I shall see you mañana.